morning, good evening, good night. This is Ray with Wisdom on Wednesdays. Thankful that you took time out of your day to hang out with us. Thank you again for commenting. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed just yet, do us a huge favor and just hit that subscription button so that you can follow and that you can help our channel grow. We're still trying to get to 500 subscriptions. We get a little bit more freedom and more latitude on YouTube. If you help us out there, we greatly appreciate it. Now for why you even showed up today. Wisdom on Wednesdays today is we want to focus on forgiveness. I know it's a very sore topic. It's a hard topic for many people because if you lived on this earth for any amount of time, someone's done some things that when you think of the word forgiveness, there are some things that you just figure that person will never be forgiven for that. People like to say things like, I'll forgive them, but I won't forget. Ultimately, friends, I want to encourage you today. If you can continue to remember all of the ridicule, if you can continue to remember all the railing of how a person mistreated you, you haven't forgiven just yet. I know it sounds cute and it sounds like we're being a people that can compartmentalize, but ultimately, if you can continue to remember the hurt will remind you of how that person made you feel. And it's harder and harder to forgive. But when we forgive, we have to make certain that we prioritize the people that need to be forgiven. Let me start. In order for us to have a proper perspective of forgiveness, we first have to forgive ourselves. Many of us struggle with forgiving other people because we still feel foolish because we allow people to do certain things to us. It depends on what YouTube channel you watch, what podcast you watch. Everybody has their opinion on how you should allow people to treat you and how you should disallow people to treat you. But if you want to exercise freedom and wisdom, you ultimately have to forgive people in order to live a free life. You see, if you don't forgive, you live in bondage. And if you live in bondage, you can't be a wise person because everything that you do, you will be looking through the lens of unforgiveness. And when you look through the lens of unforgiveness, you can have an issue with a person from 10 or 15, 20 years ago. And the people in your current will deal with the issues of your past. You see, the people that try to love you, the people that try to embrace you, the people that try to encourage you will have to deal with all the pain, the trauma, and the residue of your unforgiving heart. And it's very difficult for you to forgive other people when you haven't yet forgiven yourself. So I want to give you the allowance today to forgive yourself and recognize this, that everybody has had somebody do something to them. Everybody has had somebody misuse their trust. Everybody has had somebody go back on their word and not do what they said they were going to do. You see, ultimately, the world will make you feel stupid because you didn't see it coming. Okay, let's peel the onion all the way back today. Many of us saw the signs of people and the character that they were going to portray to you, but we were very forgiving early on in the relationship and we ignored the signs. You see where we're going? We ignored the indicators of people trying to tell us who they were, and we gave them chance after chance after chance after chance. And ultimately, when you continue to give somebody a chance, they stop respecting you. And after a while, when they stop respecting you, it's easier for them to do all types of things to mishandle you. And when you feel like you've been mishandled and you finally come to the place where this relationship has to be severed, you can get to the place of forgiving that person, but it's difficult to forgive yourself for allowing yourself to be in this space, in this position of indicators that you saw this relationship probably wasn't going to be productive. This relationship was not going to be conducive for you, but you allowed it. And now you're in a space where you feel like you're stupid. You're in a space where you feel like I saw it coming, but yet I still did it. Can I let you off the hook today? All of us have seen people's character. All of us have recognized the signs of people who were not going to keep their word. But yet we went ahead and we were forgiving and allowed those people to mistreat us, allowed those people to mishandle us. But I want to encourage you today. You know how to recognize the signs of people now. And I just want to leave you with this. When people show you who they are, believe them. But that happened. That's in the past. You have to forgive yourself for allowing somebody to try to manipulate you. You have to forgive yourself for allowing somebody to mishandle you. You have to forgive yourself for people not being a person of their word. You can't continue to let this hang over your head and give you a black cloud and have vision of mistrust with everybody else that you come in contact with. Because what happens is the rest of your relationships will be tainted by your mistrust and unforgiveness. So first off, we have to learn to forgive ourselves. And when we learn to forgive ourselves, it's that much easier to forgive other people. So when you forgive other people, you can look at where they came from. And many people don't really mean to hurt you, but ultimately, people who have been mishandle people. People who have been hurt people. People that weren't loved don't know how to receive love. See where this is going? So when you learn to forgive people, you have to look at where they came from. And ultimately, they didn't intend to hurt you, but it came to pass. They didn't intend to misuse you, but it came to pass. And you learn from that situation and you learn from that person and you became a better person from it. So don't hold yourself hostage because you got duped. Everybody gets duped. Everybody's just not honest about it. So the thing is, forgive yourself, forgive people. And thirdly, I want you to forgive your parents. That's right. Forgive your parents for all those things that you have a list of in your mind that you haven't accomplished everything in life because your parents didn't give you what you thought you deserved. Because your parents didn't allow you to soar and chase your dreams of football, basketball, drama, choir, whatever it might have been. Forgive your parents. Your parents gave you everything you have. Your parents gave you life, they gave you protection, they gave you security, and most of all, they gave you the best that they had to offer. So when you come to the realization that in order for me to be wise and to be productive and go forward in my life, I have to forgive my parents and stop using this as a scapegoat. Whenever things don't go my way, I fall back on my ready-made excuse that my parents didn't provide the best that I needed to get. You see how easy that is? And it actually allows us not to take any accountability in our lives. If you want to be wise, you have to be a person who embraces accountability. And when you embrace accountability, you have to deduce your past and accept everything that happened in your past, including your upbringing. Your parents gave you the very best that they had to offer. Your parents gave you the best counsel that they received. Your parents gave you the best empathy that they received. Your parents gave you the best love and affection that they received. You understand? Your parents couldn't offer you anything that they didn't receive. If you really want to find out who your parents are and your grandparents are still alive, that will give you the best input on how to deal with your parents because your grandparents raised them. So this isn't an opportunity for us to find the blame game, but what it does is it gives us a chance to grow up a little bit and forgive. And once we learn to forgive, now we have the freedom to go forward. And if we have the freedom to go forward, there's no task that we cannot accomplish. There's nothing too high that we can't do because now we're unsaddling all those burdensome excuses that we've been carrying around. Erykah Badu had a song a few years ago called Bag Lady. It was very difficult for the bag lady to accomplish any of her goals because she was carrying around all these things in her bags. Can you imagine coming home from the grocery store and you got all your groceries for the week in your bags and you're carrying all the bags trying to work your job, carrying all the bags trying to look after your children, carrying all the bags trying to perform your ministry obligations. You see how hard it is when you carry bags of unforgiveness, when you carry bags of not being accountable to anyone. It's very difficult to do your current when you're carrying the bags of your past. That's it today. I just want to encourage you to be a wise, productive person. And in order to be a wise, productive person, you have to be a forgiving person. First off, forgive yourself. Forgive those people who mishandled you and forgive your parents. and watch, the burdens will be lifted. Watch how clear your thoughts are. Watch how succinct your prayer life is going to become. Because ultimately, we were commanded by God to forgive. But we give God all types of justifications and rationalizations of why we can't forgive because of what those people did to us. I know these well because I give them to myself. So we're in this together, friends, that we've got to learn to forgive so we can move forward. That's my word of wisdom today for Wednesday. This is Ray. I'm so glad you hung out with me today. Encourage somebody today. Forgive somebody today. But don't forget to forgive yourself. Have a wonderful day. God bless. We'll speak soon.